Hey everybody, it's Modern Day Nana. All right, I've come to bring you another Valentine craft. I love making these, you guys. I am having so much fun. I hate to put the Valentine stuff away, but I can't, make them forever and ever. All right, I thought this time I would kind of show you my process of how I decide what I'm going to do with something. Um, I've said in other videos, I'm not so much one that decides I'm going to make this project and let's gather our materials. I'm more like, let's pile all our junk together and let's see what we can make with it. So that's kind of what I'm showing you here, and kind of show you my process through the whole thing. All right, so let me show you what I had collected that I thought might work. Okay, now this is just a Dollar Tree heart, okay, that I picked up, just a plain one. And this is like a nice kind of crushed velvet was a top that I cut up, okay, and I just went ahead and glued the top down with some hot glue to the back of the heart. Now we could finish this if we wanted to, we might. I'm just showing you what all I got here. Okay, so we got our heart, and that's the basis of our Valentine. And let me just go ahead and show you the rest of the supplies that we might use. Okay, this was in the scrapbooking stuff at Hobby Lobby. I got it years ago. I got a couple of them, and it's just basically like a craft paper, but it's pretty. Okay, so I've got that, and I went ahead and just roughly cut a heart out that I thought would be nice on our pink fabric. Now I did tear it, but that's all right. It's going to be covered up anyway, right? So don't pitch stuff just because you make a boo-boo. All right, so we have this paper. I had this gold scrapbook paper. I used it one year for one of the kids' graduations. I just don't throw stuff away. So I thought this would make a nice addition because I wanted to kind of pull in some of the gold, or bring in gold, although this doesn't really have any gold. It's got the warm like wood, so I thought the gold would be the way to go. So we have the gold, and then I had gotten this absolutely precious, this is why I was thinking of pulling the gold, precious Valentine off of the Graphics Fairy. I know I've talked about that site lately, but I love it. They're all free. I don't know if you can sell the stuff, if you use her stuff, if you could like sell it. I'm not selling it, so you might want to check that out. But this she has got so many of the most adorable graphics on there, and you just print them off on your printer. And this I just printed off on copy paper. So that's the basis of what we're doing. Now I believe I showed you this in a previous video. This was a just a thing that's actually still on the thing you get at the craft store, of just trim, and it's kind of old school. We don't really use this anymore, but we're kind of going for an old school type of look. So I don't remember how much this was. Not much. Thrifted it. So keep your eyes out if you see things like this, even if you cut it up, even if you didn't use it like this, for a couple of bucks, that's a good buy. So we got that. I also went ahead, I think I did get this at Hobby Lobby or somewhere. We might not use it. I'm not saying we're going to use all this, but I just had gotten this, probably a yard or two of it when I was making something. And this is the thicker, more like the what you would put you know, like a hat, like to bring down over your face like a veil. It's not the super fine tool, but you know, use whatever you've got. I just cut this kind of in, looks like about 3 inch. What I was thinking was we might use this as a ruffle on here somehow. Okay, so that's what I was thinking with that. We might ruffle that up. So there's that. We still got our pearls, and if you've seen any other Valentine videos, I just had these. Sure, I got them at some point at the craft store. You know, they're just the little plastic pearls, but I think pearls and Valentine's Day go together to me. Just a little bit of old kind of chenille type yarn, some pink trim, who knows where I got it. Just if you're out, you know, look for this stuff. More tulle. This ribbon is super pretty. I don't know if you can pick up. They don't all, you know, like, ooh, aren't all 100% matchy, but that's okay. I just grabbed what I thought might work. So here's some gold ribbon with some like script writing on it. Just some gold thrifted cording. This I had gotten at the thrift store, no, Dollar Tree last year at Easter time. I think they had multiple colors, but I love this soft muted pink. Might use that. Here's a couple of old ornaments I've had forever, but I thought this little girl kind of looked like a Cupid. She kind of looked like a, you know, like a little Cupid. They're ornaments. And then I think the only other thing, no, not the only other thing. This is a scarf, but I thought, you know what, this might work for something, and I like the color of it. It's just a scarf I got at the thrift store. Some old flowers that were used to be part of a longer vine, and then this plume, and I had used these when I was decorating and doing the Victorian tree. I put these in the Victorian tree I had. I've got several of them, so I thought, I like those colors. So that is the method to my madness with getting my junk together to think about doing a project. Okay, so that is what we have to work with. And you know, like I said, some people like to do it where they say, oh, I'm going to make this, I need this for it. This is more my process. So okay, let's get started. I think we need the embellishments. Let's kind of set the embellishments aside. We're not going to need these right off the bat. These will probably go on last. We can decide what we want to do. And first of all, I think, well, we just need to start with deciding how we're going to lay our hearts down, and then the trims that we're going to put on our hearts. Okay, so let's look at this. Obviously, I've, you know, cut them in smaller and smaller, and you know, I obviously had the heart to work with. I couldn't do anything about that size. And then this was the Valentine I got off of the Graphics Fairy. So she is the size she is. Loving Greeting. And I love these are like, they look kind of like a pansy. So they've got some purple in them, which I thought led to that kind of muted pink. So let me get my glue gun. Now we have to decide though, what we want to do with our trims, because we can't be gluing our hearts down and then, unless we're going to put our trims on the outside. This trim, obviously, to cover up where it's gathered at, is going to have to be put underneath something. I'm kind of thinking I like this trim under on the very bottom. And I think the best way to do that would be just to glue it down like this. right? So of course we want the pretty side, showing with the lace. Okay, so we're just going to take, and I might do it from this side just so we can see. Let's go ahead and just start. We'll just put a little glue, and we'll just do it in sections. But I think because I want to be able to see where I'm placing my trim, I'm going to do it from this side so I don't get any of that where we've gathered, or where whoever did it gathered part showing. Okay, yeah, okay, and then we can just give that a little push down if we want to. Okay, and then we'll just go back in and we'll just do that all the way around it. Okay, I'm going to turn it over though so I can make sure we have it where we want it and we like it there. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the heart itself came from the Dollar Tree, but you know what you could do if you didn't want to go to the Dollar Tree and you know, spend $1.25. I don't see any reason in the world you couldn't just use piece of cardboard. Okay, and cut out a heart the size that you would like it. Let me make this a little bit smaller. And then that way you'd skip that $1.25 scenario. So you could just have your thrifted stuff, and any of these flowers or trims, you could certainly thrift. So we could do all this with upcycled materials. And I went ahead and cut this to size because I didn't want to you know, have all that in the way. But I do want to turn it over. Oops, see here. It's popping out a little bit where that seam is. That already, I like it. Now we can determine where we want to hang this and make some holes in this with our crocodile when we're done. Okay? All right. First layer done. Oh, here, let's put this down a little bit better. And we can come back and cover that with a piece of scrapbook paper. We could cover it with a piece of fabric. You know, if you want the back finished up, if you don't like that, you know, if you don't like that rough looking. Okay. All right. So we have our first layer done. And now we have to think about our second layer. So we have this layer here. Do we want to mix and match? Although this is pink, so we could go right into the pearls. What else have we got? Let's look and see. Let's kind of do like a look and see what we've got and our options are. So here's our pink. Okay, and here's this trim. Here's the pearls. I just cut this off of an existing, it was kind of like a long runner. I do feel like I want this, and although these pinks are not exactly, you know, matchy-matchy, I like that look. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bead of glue down, and let's go ahead and stick this wire trim up next to our heart. I think I like that look. Now you can do whatever your little hearts desire and whatever stuff you have to work with. I'm just giving you how I do it. I like that little frilly. And yeah, if you know, I'm sure when I picked this up, I was thinking I would use it for Easter, and I think I actually did use some of this for Easter last year. I'll have to get out my Easter stuff and we'll see. But you can use it, obviously, for all kinds of different things besides just the project it came out for. So we have the nice first layer of our heart situated. Now we have to decide what we want to do here. Do we want to put something underneath it, or do we want to put something just over it? Because we don't want to glue it down if we're going to try to put something underneath it. I'm thinking we need the hearts next, and I feel like those need to go over the top. Now I like how it will be flatter if we take and use a glue stick instead of hot glue, because hot glue can get kind of lumpy. When it starts drying, and I don't want that to happen. Not that I think we would even see it or notice it, but I mean, might as well avoid it. I've got the glue stick right here. If you didn't, you could just use school glue. You could use, good thing this dries clear. Got some of the purple glue on. And I kind of roughly cut this. I didn't use a template or anything. Like I've said many times, and I will continue to say, I am not about perfection. I mean, I guess perfection is in the eye of the beholder, right? I have always liked things kind of messy. I'm not a mathematically minded person, so, and you can always just go back in and, you know, give it a little. Now we are going to glue these pearls down here, and that way it is going to have a layer that's probably going to seep through. I'm just kind of starting here at the top of my heart. You know, you could start wherever you wanted to. I don't know, this just somehow makes sense to me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to, you know, put it on there and lightly tap it down over the glue. And yeah. And then, like I said, that way too, it's going to hold down any edges of this heart. But isn't this paper pretty? I really, really love these colors. I think I'd said before, I know I've said in a video, but gosh, I feel like I've done so many videos now that I did have my colors done once. You know, like they used to do the Color Me Beautiful, where they determine what colors look best on you. And the colors that looked best on me were more muted. So I think I tend to go that way. And that's what I tend to like. I really, guys, I did clean out my closet not too long ago, and I got rid of some more black stuff. Now, it's not saying you can't, you know, you can't wear black or anything like that, because I was a massage therapist for 10 years, and I literally, my uniform was black, and that's all I wore was black for 10 years, I think, because, you know, you're at work and then you come home. Anyway, you can wear black. It's, anybody can wear any of the colors. It's just what you like have up next to your face. So break it up, you know, with like a scarf or something, I think is what they said. Okay, hey, I like that a lot. Very pretty. How lovely is that? Those pearls are on there nice and solid. Okay, so now we've got this gold heart. Okay. And we need to decide what we want to do here, and then we've got this one on top of the gold one. So the trims I have left, I do have, we've got the pink. I've got this really pretty pink ribbon, but we'd have to gather it or something to get it up underneath there. And then there's this ribbon too, odds and ends. Oh, I've got this little bit of yarn. We've got this. I feel like we need a pink. I feel like we need a pink layer next. Let's do this one. And I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to, again, run a bead of glue, because this has got a edge to it, and that way we can glue that edge right up. See? So then we have that, and that will be pretty easy to do because it's just right there. It's not a wide trim or anything too crazy to work with, and I can see the heart underneath here as I'm gluing it down. And then we're also going to have to glue this gold heart down to our other heart. Okay, I'm just going to put some glue stick on the back of this heart. And let's just lay it down. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's okay. We're just taking our old bits and pieces that we have laying around and using them up. Getting in our stash. We're making a lovely Valentine. Okay, so we have one more piece. one more heart to finish out, and I feel like we need to put some trim on that too, because we've trimmed everything else. Let's see. I do have this fine gold trim. Or, since we have gold, gold, gold. Oh yeah, I like this. It's just yarn. And I think, let's just go ahead and glue this down. Okay. And then we can just glue this yarn right on top. And that'll trim that out nicely. And then we can decide what we want to do with the rest of our embellishments. Let's center this on here. Now, to make sure you don't get wrinkles, just kind of start in the middle, right? And work your way out. And I've shown you before, if for some reason you don't want to use your fingers, you know, use anything that's smooth on one side, and there you go. Okay, and we'll probably end up putting a cute little bow here, but let's go ahead and use our nice little thin chenille yarn. And just put a layer down. And I like that softness, you know, like I said, or I might have said in the previous video, it's winter. Oh yeah, that's going to be cute. And I like adding that, you know, just that element of softness to it. Love all the different textures. And this is going to trim this out so nicely. And we're going to have a pretty Valentine. Now, this is just paper unless you sprayed it. I don't know why you couldn't go over it with a sealer if you wanted to put it where it was going to get some weather. Like, you know, if it was on an outside exterior door that might get some weather. I wouldn't want it to get very much weather, but you know, you want to protect it, but preferably on an interior, because we don't want our pretty, and this is just paper and fabric. Okay, now just be gentle with it and take your time. You know, this is very therapeutic. All right, we'll roll this up and see if we still have enough for another little project. And this was just yarn in, you know, a baggie of stuff I got. Okay, well, I say that right there is quite lovely, but now we can determine what we want to do. Do we want to try to do something with this tulle? We could put it in, I feel like we could put it back here and make another layer. We'd have to kind of bunch it up. We'll definitely just make another layer to it. Let's see. But we could do that and just kind of tack it down so it just shows a little bit. Let's go ahead. We've got it here. Let's go ahead and do that. And this will be our last layer on here. I need a popsicle stick or something so you don't burn yourself, because obviously this has Absolutely nothing to it that's going to keep that glue. Now I'm just folding this over little bits. Just roughly taking and folding it down. So it's going to create a bit of a ruffle as it comes around, okay? See how that's happening? And we don't have to do anything fancy, and we don't have to get out the sewing machine, although you could. Just going to kind of evenly bring it around and fold it, you know, as we go here. And then when this piece is at the end, we can just grab another one and continue on. Let me sit down. We ended up at the hospital last night. One of the granddaughters had a high fever, and you know, I mean, you know, I sound old, but back in my day, 104 fever was, you were at the hospital, man. You were at the hospital for less than that. But, you know, now they say 105. And it was bordering on 105. So, and the problem was she wasn't able to keep any Tylenol or anything down. She's 10 or 11. Oh boy. 10. So I told my daughter I was home last night. I didn't have to work. I says, just give me a few minutes and swing by and get me. I'll ride with you, because she was dog tired. You know, they've had sick kids, and you know how that is. The hospital for us is about, I don't know, 20 minutes. So, which we are so fortunate to have. Such a good and a good children's hospital. So we went over, and the ER has like a unit that's just pediatric, so that's nice too. So she they got her in, they got her situated. They ended up giving her some Zofran, which is anti-nausea. Yeah, and she was able to keep, they gave her that first, and then they tried the Tylenol. She was able to keep that down. So doctor came in, is like, you know, she's doing all the things. She's drinking. She's doing all right. I don't think we need to stick her, do an IV. So we waited a couple hours, and they gave her some liquid ibuprofen. And she'd been trying to take pills at home. So I'm sure, you know, my daughter went and got some liquid. Maybe it's a little easier to stomach. But yeah, everybody's been sick. It's been a hot mess. These poor mamas. These poor mamas. Oh man. And you know, if you're in that situation, oh my goodness, I feel for you. Or, you know, if we've been in that situation, we feel for them, don't we? And then my other daughter said her son is in wrestling, so I don't think he got hurt. I think he was just super duper sore and not feeling good either. Everybody's had these weird, between the COVID and the RSV, and the granddaughter that we took in, they did a swab test and tested for COVID, RSV, and the flu. She had influenza A. So they sent her home with some Zofran, you know, watch her, make sure she's doing the fluids. But she didn't throw up any of that. So she got to, you know, be sent home. But anyway, so then the grandson, he feels like crud. Is he 11 or 12? I sound like a terrible nana. Got all these grandkids. He's fixing to be 12, I believe. into next month. Anyway, he was sore and hurting from the wrestling. Plus, he wasn't feeling well anyway. And then the cheerleader that is, it's her senior year, she's not a flyer, so she's not the girl, you know, at the top that they're throwing around. She's on the bottom catching the girl that's doing that. Anyway, I don't know what happened, but things went haywire and she got hit in the head and hurt. And so none of them were feeling good anyway, so they're a hot mess. Probably everybody's home today. It's the middle of the week here. Anyway, poor kids. Oh, it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. We are in a cold snap. I don't even want to go out of the house. I need to go see my mom, which is at a nursing home. It's only about 10 miles away, but oy, oy, oy. You know, when you don't have to get out and go to work, I probably will go see her here later on when I get done with this craft, though. I'll just get a quick clean up and throw on some comfy warm clothes and get over there and see her. My daughter-in-law to be texts me. She's the other way, about 20 miles. Her and my son live over there, and she's wanting me to look at her wedding dress. It's a little too long. She bought it, and it was good except for that. But she was wanting me to look at it and see if I think I can hem it. And I'm sure, depending on the layers, and I'm sure it's pretty frilly, but we'll look at it. You know, I might just pay to have it done, guys. I know that sounds crazy, but you know, you've got so many things to do. It is such a blessing, though. So much is gonna be done. I pretty much did everything with my girls' weddings, and we're having it out where my daughter works. Now, some of this is where I cut it, some of it's narrower, so I'm gonna have to watch this, but we can just trim it off when we get it situated back around. But this is gonna add a cute layer, I think. I mean, you know, as they say, sometimes less is more and sometimes more is more. I am definitely not a minimalist. I've said that before. If you've seen that in my other videos, I've got girls that are minimalist, and I am not. So in general, to me, more is more. Right? And I'm a thrifter, and I find all this cool stuff, and I'm like, oh, what can we do with this? Let's just do a bunch of layers. Ooh, good, this is working out. Okay. Voila. Ooh, cute. Well, we'll go ahead and put a piece of scrapbook paper over this, just cause. I mean, we could use fabric, but let me see what I've got. Here we go. Let's just use this one. Like I said, this was one I think I had from one of the kids' graduations. I think I just laid these down on the table with something. Try to make it look neat. I don't have another heart like this to trace it out with. Let's fold it. At least side to side it'll be pretty even. I'm just going to randomly do this and we can go from there. And as I've said before, you know, we're messing and a fooling here, but the whole business is therapeutic to me. Love the tactile touching of the different fabrics, and there's something satisfying about cutting and trimming. Let's go ahead and put a little glue here in the middle of it, and then we'll put some hot glue. There we go. There again, I didn't measure anything, so, you know, we could go back in and kind of trim off these edges a little. I just didn't want to make it too small so that we had edges showing that we didn't want to show. All right. So we could go back in and we could trim it, which I'll do later. Oh, look at the tulle on here. See, and if there are just areas that you feel like, oh, that's a little over where I want it, or a little too, you know, just trim it up. Super adorable. Love it. I love tulle. Okay. Okay. Just play with it. Get it to where you want it. Okay. All right. This is all holding good. Tiny little bit there. You know, if you see that it's not, just take a little bit of glue. All right. Okay. Now, we have got, what have we got left here? Where are those cherubs? I personally don't think we need the cherubs or anything on here. Here they are. Pardon my reach. I mean, we could, but I kind of like it without them, believe it or not. Now I've got this scarf, and I'm kind of thinking the scarf would make a nice hanger. We wouldn't have to use all of it, but wouldn't that scarf make a nice hanger? And that's just a, you know, just a neck scarf. We could do that. And then we could do something with the ribbon too. Let's grab our crocodile and let's decide where we want. Now this crocodile, I showed you guys in a bunch of videos. This is the crocodile 2. This one says we are memory keepers, which used to be that old, you know, thing you did with the scrapbook, but it is a crocodile 2. And it's got the different settings. Now, I feel like we need to go into the board. So hopefully we can get all this jazz through here. And we, oh yeah, I don't know. Oh shoot, I don't know. We might have to do it sideways here. And, you know, in hindsight, we could have done this before we started. We could have made our holes before we started, but we didn't, so here we are. I think I can get in here. I might have to re-glue my pearls down a little bit. All right, maybe I do want to measure this just so we don't have it wonky. So I'm going to go ahead and measure it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to put a little pencil mark. I mean, there, I think I can see where that's at. I'm going to do the same over here. Roughly. See, but that's pretty nice. That went through quite a few layers of stuff. So it went through that board and all the extra stuff that we had there. Okay. All right, let's just glue these back down real quick. I popped them off because I had to mess with that. No biggie. Right. Just a little bit of hot glue. Perfect. Looking good. Now we have the nice holes made. How to get this through there though? We've got this. I could probably I just feel like it needs something kind of big. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second, guys. We didn't do anything with this plume either. I had some arrows somewhere that were cute I got on something I tore apart. And we could repaint these. We could do an arrow instead of and hang it from an arrow. It'd be kind of cute, huh? Since we got so much frilly. I mean, either way would be cute. If we did it from the arrow, what would we want to hang it with? Let's just glue a little bit of this gold ribbon down to the center of this pink and see what we think about this. And this was on something else. It's got a couple little glue spots on it, but I think we're fine. So I'm just taking and to get it through the hole, I'm just kind of twisting that up. Poking it through the back side. The first one went through easy. If it doesn't, you can take something pointy and help push it through. There we go. Okay, let's just decide how long we want it. And if we don't know where we're going to hang it, then, you know, just whatever you think. And whatever looks best. Okay, all right. So here is this hanger. So we didn't end up using the arrow, but we can use the arrows by it. Okay, so now let's decide if we want to do anything else. It's really lovely, just like that. But we do have a bunch of pretty trims. We could make a bow for right here, or we could use some of this plumey stuff. I don't think we want to take away from the all the pretties we've got here, and I think this is a little too much. But we could just take, got this all in a knot, we could just kind of gather up what we were thinking about using for it. And we could just gather them up and make kind of a bunchy bow. Just here's some pink sheer. I'll trim these ends off. There's some pink sheer, and this thin. Here is some gold with some script writing on it. And here's the pretty pink that we used to make our hanger. Okay. There's some more gold. Might as well use it. That we added in our hanger. Here's just a random piece. I think this was Dollar Tree. We could just kind of stick this in there. I think it'd have to be shorter than the others. Okay, and we could just make a pretty bow. Let's see what this looks like. Just kind of put everything together and make a nice bow. I'm just going to do it like, you know, a shoe tie. Like I'm tying my shoestring. And we can tighten it up a little bit, straighten it out. Get it to where, you know, the length we want it. I took that bright gold out. I just felt like it was a little too much. Okay. So we've got this now, and I like these little roses. What do you guys think? It's like a little trailing rose. What would we do with these? Would we stick them out either side of the bow? All right, kiddos, I've just got a cute little vintage dress that is hanging up behind the heart, but she turned out so sweet. We could pick those ribbons up and tack them up a little bit if we wanted, but yeah, I think she's really super cute. And that was all just scraps we had. And like I said, if you didn't want to purchase a Dollar Tree heart form, then you could just use a piece of cardboard. Okay, so all right, and happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy crafting. It's Modern Day Nana. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.